See, 9:30 అంటే యూ షుడ్ స్టార్ట్ అడ్మిటింగ్ బై 9:30. మెల్లగా రావద్దు. మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి అమ్మా, వాళ్ళ సౌండ్ వస్తుంది అక్కడి నుంచో. అటెండింగ్ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ కంపల్సరీ. మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ కూడా చెప్పండి. ఈ అటెండెన్స్ డైరెక్ట్గా జేఎన్టీయూ మానిటర్ చేస్తుంది. ఎట్లాగో అన్ని ఆన్లైన్లోనే కావచ్చు జరిగేది. వాళ్ళ లింకులు ఇవన్నీ కూడా వాళ్ళకి పోస్ట్ అయిపోతాయి. వాళ్ళు మానిటర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు అటెండెన్స్. ఎవరు వచ్చారు ఎవరు రాలేదు అనేది తెలిసిపోతూ ఉంటుంది. సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు అటెండింగ్ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ మ్యాండేటరీ. ఓకే, సో కంపల్సరీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అటెండ్. మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్కి చెప్పండి. కొంతమంది సిల్లీ రీజన్స్ చెప్తున్నారు, మేము ఇప్పుడే ఊరికి వెళ్ళి వచ్చాం, రీఛార్జ్ చేసుకోలే, ఇట్లాంటి సిల్లీ రీజన్స్ చెప్తే కష్టం. ఓకే, సో ఇన్ ద లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ వీ హ్యావ్ స్టార్టెడ్. So in the last class we have started the ionization topic. So ionization, you have to keep that diagram in mind. So previously I have shown the experimental setup. So a cathode, anode, and those two are supplied by a high voltage source, ammeter, and current limiting resistor. That diagram you should keep in mind. Okay, so whatever the topics we are discussing here, all those topics is based on that diagram only. So basing on that experimental setup only. So definitely you have to keep that in mind. So in the last class we have seen the collision process. So there are two types of collisions: elastic collision and inelastic collision. So elastic collision is not practical, so it is not in practice, and inelastic collision is in practice. So what happens in inelastic collision? So when electron moves in the gas, so again come to the experimental setup. So this is the experimental setup. So this is your cathode and this is the anode. So here the gas will be there. So leave this ultraviolet rays, we will see this thing later. As if now you assume, you imagine that there is a cathode and there is anode. So in between there is a gas, and these two electrodes are supplied using an adjustable high voltage source. Adjustable high voltage source, ammeter for current measurement, and current limiting resistor. So as we increase the voltage using this adjustable high voltage source, at some point breakdown may occur and a spark may uh, initiate between these two electrodes, or there is electric discharge. Electric discharge means nothing but flow of charge carriers. Okay, so if there is flow of charge carriers, obviously current will flow in the circuit. So gradually if it comes to a spark, if it develops into a spark, that spark is nothing but a short circuit between the cathode and anode. Okay, so that will cause high current to circulate in the circuit. So to limit that high current, we are using this current limiting resistor. Okay, so our important area is this. cathode, anode, and in between what is happening, that is important. So here there is some gas between cathode and anode. Okay, so in the previous class we have seen elastic collision, inelastic collision, those things. So in inelastic collision what happens? So in inelastic collision, one electron will be there. This electron will move or will move fastly, and it will collide with an atom, and it will collide with an atom. So if it collides with an atom, then what happens? So it will cause a positive ion and plus an electron. So this is what happens in case of inelastic collision. So this is a practical scenario. And also one more thing is, this electron moves fastly. This electron moves fastly. So and again this electron is supplied energy by the electric field. Okay, this electron is supplied energy by the electric field between these two plates. Okay, this electron is supplied energy by the electric field developed between these two plates. So that electron accelerates fastly from cathode to anode. So I am saying that that electron accelerates, so it moves fastly, and during its movement it collides with atoms whichever will be in its space. So when electron moves, this electron gets collided with a lot of atoms. So assume these are all atoms. So there are various atoms in between. So here is one atom, another atom. So there will be a lot of atoms in between. So these electrons will get collide with these atoms. Okay, this electron moves in a zigzag fashion. This electron moves in a zigzag fashion. It won't move straightly. Okay, it won't move straightly. This electron moves in a zigzag fashion. So first it gets collided with this, and again it will collide with this, again with this, again with this. So this electron moves in a zigzag fashion. It moves in a zigzag fashion, and this electron is accelerated. This electron is accelerated by the electric field. So this electron is supplied energy by the electric field. So this electron is accelerated by the electric field. Okay, so this electron moves fastly, and in between it collides with the atoms. So if the collision has sufficient energy, that means if electron has sufficient energy, and if it collides, and if energy is sufficient, then this atom will become an ion and electron. So this atom will get dissociated, or this atom will give or will become an ion, and it will give rise to an electron. So this is what happens in inelastic collision. This is what happens in inelastic collision. Inelastic collision. So that is second kind of collision. And again we will see. Keep this diagram in mind. So ionization by collision. So this is our today's topic. So in the last class we have seen the collision process, and in today's class we will see the ionization process and what are the various ionization types that are there. So previously I have said that the breakdown in gas is because of the ionization process. So if you see the definition, the process that are primarily responsible for breakdown of gas are called ionization by collision. Okay, the processes that are primarily responsible for breakdown of gases are these things: ionization by collision, photoionization, and secondary ionization. So these are all the different types of ionization. So for the breakdown of gas, all these are responsible. Okay. So for the breakdown of gas, see this word, for the breakdown of gas, all these are responsible. Ionization by collision. So we will see one by one what is meant by ionization by collision. And photoionization. Photoionization. And again, the third one is secondary ionization. So all these are responsible for the breakdown of gas. So for the breakdown of gas, all these are responsible. So for the breakdown of gas, all these are responsible. So what are they? Ionization by collision, photoionization, and secondary ionization. So already we have seen the collision process. So that is in the inelastic collision. Already we have seen the collision process. So whenever an electron gets collided with an atom, okay, it gives rise to an ion and electron. Okay. So we'll see all these things. Ionization by collision, we'll see photoionization and secondary ionization. So because of all these processes, breakdown in gas will occur. Breakdown in gas will occur. So first one is we are seeing this ionization by collision. So we'll move on to the diagram. So if you see this diagram, see your first one is ionization by collision. So what is meant by ionization by collision, we will see. Okay. So I think you are able to see the diagram, right, on your screen. So just a moment. ఆ నీళ్లు పడుతున్నాయి పైనుంచి, నీళ్ళు పోయి మాకండి. నానా నువ్వేనా పోసేది? ఎమ్మ నీళ్ళు పోస్తారో అలా పోస్తారా అండి పక్కన? ల్యాప్టాప్ మీద వచ్చి నీళ్ళు పడుతుంటే okay, we'll continue this thing. So if you look at this diagram, so these things I have already explained regarding the diagram. So we'll try to understand the concept. So you know this is a cathode. So this is a cathode which is negatively charged, or this plate is connected to the negative potential of the battery, and this is anode. This anode is connected to the positive polarity of the battery. So obviously this anode will be positively charged and this cathode will be negatively charged, and in between the two plates there is gas, and in between the two plates there is gas, and the two plates are separated by distance d. Okay. Ammeter for current measurement, current limiting resistor. So this is to limit the current in case short circuit occurs. This current limiting resistor will will limit the current. Okay, so first of all, as we increase the voltage, then what happens? So for suppose we will apply some high voltage, we will apply some high voltage. So to initiate the ionization process, okay, to initiate the ionization process, so we'll make this ultraviolet rays. So this is called as ultraviolet light. So we'll uh, make this ultraviolet light fall on this cathode, okay, or will to initiate the ionization process. See, as like initiating the process, the electrons won't come as it is. We have to initiate the process, as like in your power plants, in boilers, first they will initiate. Coal will not burn on its own, right? So you have to initiate the process by applying some fuel. They will ignite the fuel, and the fuel will ignite, and fire will get catch, and that fire will uh, burn the coal, and that process will sustain. అంతే కదా, ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తారు వాళ్ళు, దే విల్ అప్లై సమ్ ఫైర్ టు ద igniting material, and the coal will catch fire, and the process repeats itself. So all the time they will not apply the fuel, I mean ignition material. At the starting only they will, like just like by using a matchstick, they will start the fire. Here also, for initiating the process, what they will do is they will use ultraviolet rays. They will use ultraviolet light. So this UV light falls on the cathode. So you know UV light is very powerful light. So when UV light falls on the cathode, so what happens is some electrons will get emitted. So some electrons will get emit. So some electrons will get emit. So some electrons will be emitted from the cathode because of the ultraviolet light. So when ultraviolet light falls on the cathode, some electrons are emitted. Again and again, these electrons are accelerated. These electrons are accelerated. So these electrons are accelerated like this. So these electrons are accelerated, and they will get collide with the atoms. So this is what ionization by collision. So electrons will be there. So atom will be there. So since it is filled with low pressure, so atoms will be there for all this place. So here atoms will be there. So lot of atoms will be there. So whatever the electrons that are generated because of the fall of UV light, so those electrons will get collided with the atoms. So these electrons will get collided with the atoms. So they will get collided with the atoms. So because of the collision, so if it is having sufficient strength, so if that collision is having sufficient strength, then what happens is that this collision will lead to an electron plus ion. Okay, so we see this. Next we will see an equation. So whenever this electron collides with this atom, that gives rise to an electron. So that gives rise to an electron plus an atom. So when an electron collides with an atom, that gives rise to one electron plus when ion, an ion. You know ion is positively charged particle. Ion is positively charged particle. So we'll see in the form of equation as well. So there will be so many collisions. So this electron will get collided with all these atoms. They will collide with all these atoms. Okay. This electron will get will collide with all these atoms, and they will lead to lot of electrons. Okay, they will lead to lot of electrons, and those electrons will approach the anode. Okay, that when those electrons will approach the anode. For suppose initially, if I naught is the current, so initially if I naught is the current, so initially if I naught is the current that is generated because of electrons, because of the UV light falling on the cathode. So current is nothing but electrons. So when these electrons collide with the atoms present in the gas, those collisions will lead to further few more electrons and ions. Okay, those collisions will lead to few more electrons and ions. So whatever the electrons and ions are generated because of collisions, they will move towards their respective cathodes. For suppose electron is negatively charged and it will move to anode, and ion is positively charged and it will move to cathode. So here some discharge is happening, some charge carriers are created. So because of the movement of charge carriers, current will flow. So and the collisions will multiply, that collisions will increase more and more, as like in nuclear fission. So in nuclear fission, what happens, first they will bombard the atom with some neutrons, and because of the collisions, further it will create few more neutrons, and those neutrons will again bombard with the other atoms, that will create lot of energy and few more neutrons. So that's a multiplying process, that's a cumulative process. So that will increase more and more, and ultimately number of electrons and ions will increase, number of electrons and ions will increase. So compared to the electrons generated here, the electrons reaching the anode will increase more because of the collisions. Okay, for suppose at the starting, because of the fall of UV light, if some 100 electrons are generated here, for suppose because of the fall of UV light on the cathode, if some 100 electrons are generated, these 100 electrons will get collided with hundreds of atoms in between here. So here there will be lot of atoms, so those electrons will get collided with atoms, and it will further generate few more electrons. So here the electrons coming to anode will be, it may be 1000 or 10,000. So initially, if here there are some 100 electrons, for suppose initially because of the fall of UV light, if some 100 electrons are generated, these 100 electrons will create lot of collisions. It will create some hundreds and thousands of collisions, it will be created. Okay, these electrons will create some hundreds and thousands of collisions, and it will generate again some thousands of electrons. So the total electrons reaching anode will be maybe some, so what, so it may be some 10,000. So it may be 10,000 if here initially if there are some initially if there are some 100 electrons, so these 100 electrons will create lot of collisions here. These 100 electrons will create a lot of collisions, they will participate in hundreds and thousands of collisions, and the total number of electrons will increase, and here it may be 10,000. See here initially it has started with 100 electrons, but the total number of electrons have multiplied because of the collisions, because of the collisions. So within 10 minutes the session is going to close. You take some break of 5 minutes, you take some 5 minutes break and rejoin again. For suppose if session ends at 10:10, you take some 5 minutes break, and we'll start the next session at 10:15. Okay, ఒక 5 minutes break తీసుకొని నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్కి జాయిన్ కండి. అండ్ అగైన్ ఆ జాయినింగ్ అవడానికి కొంచెం టైం పడుతూ ఉంటుంది, ఇంకా జాయిన్ అవుతూనే ఉన్నారు. ఐ డోంట్ నో వాట్ దే ఆర్ డూయింగ్. జస్ట్ అ మూమెంట్. Okay, so I think you might have understand. So initially the process started with 100 electrons, and in between there will be hundreds and thousands of collisions, and that will create more and more number of electrons. that will create more and more number of electrons. That will create more and more number of electrons. Those electrons will multiply, and the number of electrons that reaches anode will be some 10,000. So here we started with 100 and then electrons has multiplied to 10,000, or it may be lakhs also, we don't know. Okay, since atoms are very very small in size, there will be some lakhs here in between, there will be some lakhs. So the number of electrons may be in lakhs also. This is just an example. So this is what collision takes place. This is what the process of collision, ionization due to collision. So our topic is what? Ionization due to collision. So our topic is ionization by collision. So this is the process of ionization by collision. So we'll see a few more points. So are there any doubts in this? Are there any doubts in this? Okay, we'll continue the topic. So look at the first point. See, if you look at the first point, a few of the electrons produced at the cathode, okay, a few of the electrons produced at the cathode by some external means. By some external means means say UV light. So we allow UV light to fall on the cathode to initiate the process. To initiate the process, we are making use of UV light. So UV light falling on the cathode. So this UV light, what happens? It will create electrons, and these electrons ionize neutral gas particles, producing positive ions and additional electrons. So this is what we have seen in the discussion. So to initiate the process, we will use the UV light. When UV light falls on the cathode, because of that power of UV light, it will create some initial number of electrons. So those electrons are accelerated by the electric field, and those electrons collide with the atoms in between, and those collisions will create few more number of electrons, and those electrons will again accelerate and collide with the few more number of atoms. So this collision process will multiply. So this collision process will multiply, and large number of electrons are created and large number of ions are created. These electrons will move towards the anode, and these ions, positive ions, will move towards the cathode, because unlike charges attract each other. Okay, thereby electric charges are created, and that causes flow of current. So flow of charges is nothing but current. So that is nothing but electric discharge, and that causes breakdown of gas. So that causes breakdown of gas. So breakdown means what? Actually gas is an insulator. It is not supposed to conduct current, but because of this collision process, because of the ionization by collision, okay, charge carriers are created and gas will get breakdown, and it causes conduction of current. And looking at the second point, so look at the second point. The additional electrons then themselves make ionizing collisions. So whatever the electrons that are created because of collision, those are called as additional electrons. and they create few more collisions. They further create collisions and the process repeats itself. So electrons will be created because of collisions, and those electrons will again cause collisions, and the process repeats itself. Okay, look at the third point. In addition, the positive ions also reach the cathode. So whatever the positive ions that are created, they will reach the cathode, and on bombardment on the cathode gives rise to secondary electrons. So this is your next topic. This topic is talking about the next topic. Okay, that is this collision will create what? This collision will create electrons plus positive ions, right? This collision process will create electrons plus ions. So only A means it is an atom. Only A means it is an atom. If it is A star, that means it is an ion. Okay. So these ions, what they cause is these ions will move to cathode. This ion, positive ion, is positively charged, right? This ion will move to cathode and it will get bombarded. It will get collide. So it will get collide with the cathode. So ఏమైందంటే ఈ పాజిటివ్ అయాన్ అనేది క్యాథోడ్ని గుద్దుకుంటుంది. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ bombardment. So this positive ion will collide with the cathode. Okay, and further it creates few more electrons. So those electrons are called as secondary electrons. So in the next topic we will discuss this. So this is ionization because of secondary electrons. That is the next topic. We will discuss that anyhow. So this is about ionization because of collision. Ionization because of collision. So this is photoionization. We'll see that in the next next session. So within take some 5 minutes break, and after 5 minutes you join the class again. So any doubts in this? Okay, we'll start the next topic. So in the previous session, we have completed the photoionization, ionization by collision. So we have completed the topic ionization by collision. In this session, we will see the next one. So in this session, we will see the next topic, that is photoionization. So what is meant by photoionization? So as the name indicates, photo means light. As the name indicates, photo means light. So there are 3 collision processes because of which a breakdown of gas occurs. One is ionization by collision, and next one is photoionization. The third one is secondary emission. Because of the secondary emission, breakdown will occur. Okay, so first one we have seen the ionization by collision process. So because of the collision between electrons and ions, a few more electrons and because of the collision between electrons and atoms, a few more electrons and ions are created, and because of their movement, electric discharge. Okay, movement of electrons is nothing but current. So that will cause breakdown. As the number of electrons increase, current increase, and breakdown of gas occurs. So that is what happens. So photoionization means what? So photoionization means what? Because of fall of light, ionization happens. So because of fall of light, ionization happens. So in your intermediate, you might have studied your atoms or matter will absorb light. Okay, your atoms will absorb light, and after absorbing, what happens is they will absorb light. They will absorb light, and the electrons in the atoms will get excited. So the electrons in the atoms will get excited. Okay, similarly the process can be reversed if at all. Okay, so if at all if at all light falls on the atom, it will get excited. Otherwise the process can be reversed. If at all electrons jumps from the higher orbit to lower orbit, then it will release radiation. So the process can be reversible. So if photons or light falls on the atoms will get excited. So the electrons will jump from lowermost orbit to highermost outermost orbits, and from them from the outermost orbit it may come out. That is one process. The process is also reversible. So if at all electron jumps from higher orbit to lower orbit, it will emit radiation. So this process is reversible. But for photoionization, few conditions has to be satisfied. Immediately when the light falls, the atom won't excite. A few conditions has to be satisfied. The wavelength, energy, all should be enough for the ionization to take place. So we'll see those things here. So in simple, photoionization means because of the absorption of energy or light or photons, the atoms will get excited and the electrons will come out from the atoms. Thereby electrons and ions are created. That is called as photoionization. So look at the point here. Look at the point here. The phenomena associated with the ionization by radiation. Radiation means light, UV light, like that, like X-rays. X-ray is also a radiation. Okay. So you know visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, all these things, you know, spectra of light. All the light frequencies are not visible. Visible light is a certain range of frequency that will be visible. But we have also got UV light, X-rays, those are invisible. Okay. So those also will come under radiation. So if X-rays or UV light falls, then also ionization may takes place. So that you should keep in mind. Okay, the phenomena associated with ionization by radiation or photoionization involves the interaction of radiation with matter. So this is important. So here what happens is interaction of radiation with matter takes place. Interaction of radiation with matter takes place. Okay, that is what happens. So here interaction of radiation with matter takes place. So the matter means that physical substance, whatever is there, that is called as matter, or atoms is called as matter. So the atoms will interact with the radiation. So that's why it is called as photoionization. Okay, look at the second point. Photoionization occurs when the amount of radiation energy absorbed by an atom or molecule exceeds its ionization potential. So that is important. So photoionization takes place when the energy absorbed by an atom or molecule exceeds its ionization potential. So every atom has got a limit. So this ionization potential can be compared to breakdown voltage. So in your analog electronics, you might have studied diodes. So if you apply some voltage, will the diode conduct? No. So it so that whatever the voltage applied by you should be greater than the breakdown voltage, then only diode will start conduction. Okay, so that is the point that is important. So here also, for the atom to emit electron, the radiation falling on it and the energy given by it should be greater than the ionization potential. So then only the atom will emit electron. So whatever the radiation that is falling on the atom, that energy absorbed by the atom. Okay, so see the point. The photoionization occurs when the amount of radiation energy absorbed by an atom or molecule exceeds its ionization potential. So whenever photons or whenever radiation energy falls on the atoms, the amount of energy absorbed by the atom should exceed its ionization potential. So ఎప్పుడైనా లైట్ వచ్చి ఆటం మీద ఫాల్ అయింది అనుకోండి, ఓకే, ఆటం ఏం చేస్తుందంటే ఆటం విల్ అబ్జర్వ్ ఎనర్జీ. సో వెన్ దట్ అబ్జర్వ్డ్ ఎనర్జీ ఎక్సీడ్స్ ద ionization potential. So similarly as like diode, every atom or molecule will have its ionization potential. సో ఆ ఎనర్జీ అనేది ionization potentialకి ఎక్సీడ్ అయింది అనుకోండి, అది ఒక ఎలక్ట్రాన్ని ఎమిట్ చేస్తుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద కండిషన్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద కండిషన్. ఓకే, సో అప్పుడు ఫోటో అయనైజేషన్ అనేది జరుగుతుంది. ఓకే, సో ఏదైతే రేడియేషన్ ఉంటుందో ఆ రేడియేషన్ ఆటమ్ మీద ఫాల్ అవుతుంది. ఆటమ్ మీద ఫాల్ అయినప్పుడు అప్పుడు అది అబ్జర్వ్ చేసుకునే ఎనర్జీ అనేది అయనైజేషన్ పొటెన్షియల్ కంటే ఎక్కువ ఉంటే దెన్ ద ఆటమ్ విల్ ఎమిట్ ద ఎలక్ట్రాన్. సో దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as photo ionization. So again, photoionization is of two types. So if you see photoionization, is of two types. So the excitation of atom to a higher energy state, that is the first one. So photoionization are of two types. So if you understand the concept of photoionization, that is enough. These are few more additional points. Okay, so previous ga nenu explain chesanu kada, that reversible process. Okay, that comes under this. So look at the points. First one is excitation of atom to a higher energy state. Excitation of atom to a higher energy state. So that is first one. Photoionization is of two types. What are they? They are excitation of atom to a higher energy state. That is first one. That is, if at all radiation falls on any matter, then what happens? The atom will get excited. That electrons will move from lower energy state to higher energy state. That is one way of getting excited. Okay, that is first point. If you look at the second point, that is a continuous absorption by direct excitation of atom or. Okay, in this second thing, what happens is the atom will continuously absorb radiation, and what happens is a dissociation of diatomic molecule takes place. Ante if there is some big molecule, because of the absorption of radiation, the atom may get dissociated. అంటే ఒక పెద్ద మాలిక్యూల్ కాస్త విడిపోయి ఇట్ రిలీజెస్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ అండ్ ఎనర్జీ. సో దట్ ఈస్ వన్ ఫార్మ్. ఓకే, లైక్ న్యూక్లియర్ ఫ్యూజన్ యూ కెన్ టేక్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. అది న్యూక్లియర్ ఫ్యూజన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకోవచ్చు. అది S2 ఏమవుతుంది, బాగా ఎనర్జీ అబ్జర్వ్ చేసుకుని అది డిసోసియేట్ అయిపోయి ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ని ఎనర్జీని రిలీజ్ చేస్తుంది. దట్ ఈస్ వన్ సెకండ్ ఫార్మ్. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఎస్ డైరెక్ట్ అయనైజేషన్. ఓకే, సో సింపుల్గా ఫోటో అయనైజేషన్ అంటే మీరు అర్థం చేసుకుంటే సరిపోద్ది. These two are some additional points. So one is excitation of atom to a higher energy state. So whenever you give radiation to a atom, the atom will absorb radiation and the electrons will jump from lower energy orbit to higher energy orbit, and from them it may come out. That is one form of photoionization. That is one type of photoionization. Second one is the matter will continuously absorb the radiation and it may get dissociate. So that is how it is called as direct ionization. So then we call it as direct ionization or dissociation of diatomic molecules. So that is the second way. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Okay. If you look at this, see the first point. So just as an excited atom emits radiation when the electron returns to lower state or ground state, the reverse process takes place when an atom absorbs radiation. So previously మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్న ఈ పాయింట్. So the process is reversible. By absorbing radiation, the electrons will jump to outermost orbits. That is possible, and the reverse is also possible. Whenever electrons jump from higher orbits to lower orbits, it will emit the radiation. So the process is reversible. So you can see that in the equation. So look at this equation. Ionization occurs when, so this is Hv plus A gives rise to A star. A star is ion. A star is called as ion. Okay, here A star is called as ion. Hv is H is Planck's constant. So like it's a bit of a chemistry again. H is, you know, H is Planck's constant, and V is the frequency. V is the frequency plus atom. A means atom. So it may give rise to an ion. A star means ion. A star means ion. So this process is reversible. That means if atom absorbs radiation. So if atom absorbs radiation, okay, if an atom absorbs radiation, then it will become an ion by giving an electron. So that is one way, or else an ion can absorb the radiation. An ion can absorb an ion can become atom by absorbing the radiation, by emitting the radiation. Okay, an ion can become atom by emitting the radiation. Both ways it is possible. So the process is reversible. ఓకే, ఆటమ్ రేడియేషన్ అబ్జార్బ్ చేసుకొని ఒక ఎలక్ట్రాన్ ఇచ్చేసి అయాన్ కావచ్చు, ఆ అయానే రేడియేషన్ ఇచ్చేసి మళ్ళీ ఒక ఆటమ్ కావచ్చు. సో ద బోత్ వే ఇట్ ఈస్ పాసిబుల్. ఓకే, ద ప్రాసెస్ ఈజ్ రివర్సబుల్. ఇఫ్ యూ లుక్ ఎట్ ద సెకండ్ ఈక్వేషన్, దిస్ ఈజ్ వన్ మోర్ రిలేషన్. ఓకే, దీని నుంచి వచ్చింది, పైన ఫస్ట్ ఈక్వేషన్ నుంచి వచ్చింది కాదు సెకండ్ది. సో ద సెకండ్ ఈక్వేషన్ ఈజ్ అదర్ రిలేషన్. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద న్యూ టర్మ్స్. H is called as Planck's constant. V is the frequency of the radiation. V is called the frequency of the radiation. Okay, V is the, here V, this is called, this is V. V is the frequency of the radiation. And lambda, you know, lambda is the wavelength of the radiation. Lambda is the wavelength of the radiation. So lambda less than or equal to c is the velocity of light into H is Planck's constant, H by Vi. Vi is called as ionization potential. Vi is called as ionization potential. Okay, so if this satisfies, if this relation satisfies, then photoionization will occur. So if this relation satisfies, then photoionization will occur. Okay, so if lambda less than or equal to c into H by Vi, so if wavelength is less than or equal to velocity of light into Planck's constant by ionization potential, then ionization occurs. So that is one relation. So here c is velocity of light, we know 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second, and H is Planck's constant, it has got some number. So those values you can substitute. If you substitute, then we get one more this thing. So here the terms are explained. So lambda less than or equal to c into H by Vi, that is the relation we have got. So if that lambda is the less than or equal to c into H by Vi, photoionization will occur. So what is H here? Okay, H is so H is Planck's constant. In your chemistry intermediate you have studied H is Planck's constant. C is velocity of light. So H has got some value, no? Okay, H has got some value. Next, lambda is the wavelength of incident radiation. Lambda is the incident of lambda is the wavelength of incident radiation. Vi is the ionization energy of the atom. So it depends on the atom. Vi is the ionization energy of the atom. So substituting H and C. So if you substitute H and C values, you will get this relation, lambda less than or equal to 1.27 by Vi into 10 power minus 6 centimeters. So that is the final relation that is obtained. So 1.27 is constant, 10 power minus 6 is constant. So here from this relation you can observe here your wavelength and ionization potential of the atom. See, ionization potential is it depends on the type of atom. It is like a breakdown voltage. For suppose if you take a silicon diode, it has got one breakdown voltage. If you take a germanium diode, it has got one breakdown voltage. Similarly, this ionization potential depends on the type of gas. Okay, it depends on the type of gas. So if the gas changes, the ionization potential will change. So it depends on the type of gas. Okay, so that is the thing. So Vi is a function, or it depends on the type of gas, and lambda is the wavelength. It depends on the type of radiation you give. Lambda is the wavelength of the radiation you give. So ఈ lambda అనేది రేడియేషన్ ఏదైతే మీరు ఇస్తున్నారో ఆ రేడియేషన్ మీద డిపెండ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. This Vi is the ionization potential that depends on the what type of gas. So here this wavelength and Vi are inversely proportional. So generally this Vi, ionization potential of atom, is in electron volts. So it has got units. Vi is in electron volts. So generally Vi is some few electron volts. If Vi is very less, then what happens? For suppose if Vi is 4.5 electron volts, then this lambda should be more. If Vi is less, lambda should be more. So that means those two are inversely proportional. Lambda, wavelength lambda, and Vi, ionization potential, both are inversely proportional. So if Vi decreases, lambda increases. If Vi increases, lambda decreases. That is, wavelength and ionization potential are inversely proportional. So that is the conclusion. So to summarize, what is meant by ionization potential? To summarize, ionization potential means photoionization. Photoionization means the atoms will absorb radiation and they will give electrons. They will give electrons, or they will become ions. That is called as photoionization. By absorbing radiation, ionization happens. In simply speaking, by absorbing radiation, ionization takes place. Then again, what is ionization? Formation of electrons and ions is called as ionization. So that is your second ionization, that is so what second type of ionization is photoionization. Looking at the next point, so if you see this point, the wavelength, so look at this point. A wavelength of 1250 angstroms is capable of causing a photoionization of almost all gases. So that's a general point. So as I said previously, your wavelength and ionization potential both are inversely proportional. And your ionization potential depends on the type of atom, that is type of gas. So it's a function of gas, it's a property of the gas that you cannot change. So that ionization potential is not there in your hands. So that is a function of gas. So only the thing that is there in your hands is the amount of radiation that is supplied, or the amount of radiation that is emitted. That is ionization, the amount of radiation that is emitted. So this is a general point. A wavelength of 1250 angstroms. So that is the 1250 angstroms. A wavelength of 1250 angstroms is capable of causing photoionization. So it will cause photoionization of almost all gases. So for major gases or for major gases, a wavelength of 1250 angstrom is sufficient to cause photoionization. For suppose if you want to ionize any gas, you can supply a radiation which is having a wavelength of 1250 angstroms, and that radiation will cause photoionization. Photo means light, ionization means release of electrons and ions. Release of electrons and ions is called as ionization. Okay, so this is regarding photoionization, and the secondary ionization process will continue in the tomorrow's class. Secondary ionization process is again a simple thing. Okay, so are there any doubts? You can ask if there are any doubts. So if there are any doubts, you can ask. So wait a moment, I'll just call attendance.